depends if you give me a proper salawat or not. We'll take it. The first one is on that same night that he was summoned to the palace of the governor Walid that we talked about last night. This is the first case that history has recorded when he said, after they tell him you have to give bay'ah, and he says, give me till tomorrow, and then Marwan, you know that guy we talked about, Marwan last time, we talked about him, Allahu A'lam Marwan. After all that stuff happened in the palace of the governor, Imam Hussein, they say right after that he went to the grave of his grandfather, the Holy Prophet. What does he say? He goes there and he says, Assalamu alayka ya Rasulullah. Ana al-Husayn ibn Fatima. O Rasulullah, I am Hussein, son of Fatima. Farkhuka wa ibn farkhatik. Farkh apparently means like, you know, a little chick, a little baby chicken. You know how a mother, how these, a hen will take care of her chicks and loves them so much. It's so dear. Because I am your farkh. And the son of your farkha, meaning Fatima Zahra. I am your dear beloved son and son of your dear beloved Fatima, daughter. Doesn't the Prophet know this already? Apparently, I am the sibt. Sibt means the grandson. That you left behind, son of daughter. That you left behind amongst your ummah. Khallaftani. You left me behind as a khalifa for your people. The least is that you would expect the people to go to Imam Hussein for their religion. You don't want him to be your leader, fine, but at least go to him for your religion. Learn your religion from the Imam. Allahumma inna hada qabru nabiyyik. I don't know about you guys, but you see, we're getting ready for a journey with him. As he's leaving Medina, we want to journey with Allah. If he's saying goodbye to his grandfather, we're also there watching him say goodbye to his grandfather. Allahumma inna hada qabru nabiyyik. Oh Allah, this is the grave of your prophet. Muhammadin wa ana ibn binti nabiyyik, and I am the son of the daughter of your prophet. وَقَدْ حَضَرَنِي مِنَ الْأَمْرِ مَا قَدْ عَلِمْتُ. And it has befallen me that which you know, O Allah. That of the decree that you know has befallen me. Allahumma. We want to take inspiration from this now. Allahumma. Okay, so you have a decree, O Allah, you have a plan. I'm executing this plan. O Allah, I want you to know that while I'm executing this plan, which is to serve Islam, which is to serve Allah, at the same time, I'm going to be careful of certain things. Like what? Allahumma inni uhibbul ma'roof. I love ma'roof. I love good. I love righteousness. I love whatever you love, O Allah. And whatever Allah loves, He let us know. How does He let us know? He tells us, hey, this is wajib. Do this. Make sure you do this. It's so important for me and for you that if you don't, I'm going to hold you accountable. That's what wajib means. That means if you do it, you're good. If you don't do it, you're in trouble. Yeah? Why would your parents force you to do something? Why would they force you to go to school? Because it's for your own good. To the extent that if you don't go, it's going to hurt you in the future. And since they love you, they punish you for that purpose. Right? He says, I love ma'roof, O Allah. وَأُنْكِرُ الْمُنْكَرِ, and I dislike and despise evil. Brothers and sisters, Imam Hussein is serving humanity, is serving Islam. Yeah? But at the same time, he is going to keep those boundaries that Allah has. That's the number one thing on his list that's important. Like, I'm doing work for Imam Hussein. I'm doing work for Islam. I don't know, I'm doing the best stuff that you could do. As I said last night, like food drive, blood donation, all that good stuff, right? Which is wonderful, alhamdulillah. In the name of Imam Hussein, even better. But in the process, I'm not going to hurt people's feelings. Yeah, I used this example in our lecture over there in Dearborn. I'm going to use it here too. There are some people out there, and since I've actually seen this firsthand, and they've told me this about themselves, I'm going to share it with you. Sometimes, the end result becomes the God, it becomes the book, it becomes the idol for us, the end result. For example, I want to make sure no matter what, the programs for Imam Hussein go in this way. The programs are held in this fashion. It starts with this, ends with that. Someone comes up to me, asks me a question. I know if I answer yes, and the truth is that it is yes. I know if I answer yes, the next question is, well, can I do this for the program? And then the program's not going to be the way I want it to be. Yeah? Someone comes up to you and says, do you have reciters for tonight? For example, I'm not talking about anybody here, okay, just in general. Do you have a reciter for tonight of Quran? And then this person knows if I say no, the next thing he's going to ask is, can I recite? But I know he's not a good reciter. And I want to make sure I bring in numbers, man. You want a better example? I don't know. You know Shaykh Amin doesn't deserve to speak, but you know it'll bring in numbers, right? Actually, I stand corrected. I mean, it's a little patchy on this side. It's better on that side. What happens is, I know that if I bring this person, that person, it'll bring in numbers, right? Well, I'm not supposed to, because I know this person doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's go back to the Quran example. It's easier to understand. In order that this person doesn't recite, I say, oh yeah, we have somebody. And right there I take out the phone and start calling people trying to find somebody. He doesn't recite. So that this program goes smoothly. Okay, wait a minute. We are holding najaris for Imam Hussein. Wonderful. So what happens? So Imam Hussein remains. The memory of Imam Hussein lives on. Wonderful. So that what happens? So that Islam is preserved. Wonderful. What is Islam? Islam is the Quran. Islam is what the Ahlul Bayt said. Islam is what the Prophet said. In the Quran and in the Hadith, it says don't lie. I am lying for the purpose of learning that I shouldn't lie. Sometimes Shaitan has us running in circles. Ya Allah, Imam Hussein said, I am doing something for you. Just like the person who is going to organize a program for Imam Hussein. He's doing something for Allah, for Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein says, oh Allah, I'm doing something for you, but at the same time, if there are red lines that have to be crossed, red lines that you're not happy with, so that I serve you, I don't want to cross those lines. This should be, like, for all of us who are, we're fervent, we have that zeal to serve and to help out. That's awesome. As I said, that's what more could we ask for? But Allah's satisfaction is first and foremost. I want us to see, inshallah, after these 10 days, that in Imam Hussein's campaign, in Imam Hussein's movement, in his rise and revolution, you got Allah and His satisfaction written all over the place. If I'm going to, Ayatollah Bahjat, I read once from him, he said, if I'm going to go to Karbala for ziyarat of Imam Hussein, but on the way I have to commit harams, I'm not going to go. And then some people are of the mentality that, let's go, Imam Hussein will take care of those sins. Imam Hussein is so kind that maybe that is the case. But we're not going to climb up the ladder of spirituality and closeness to Allah, let alone Imam Hussein, if we look at things like this, brothers and sisters. All over the movement of Imam Hussein, you see Allah everywhere. So do we end with Imam Hussein? Like, is that the ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is Allah. I ask you, O possessor of majesty and bounty, Imam Hussein is speaking to Allah over the grave of the Holy Prophet, by the right of this grave and the one buried in it, that you choose for me that which entails your satisfaction. You see, once again, His satisfaction, Allah's satisfaction, and the satisfaction of your Prophet, which of course the satisfaction of the Prophet and the satisfaction of Allah, they're one. You won't find the satisfaction of the Prophet but not find the satisfaction of Allah there as well. This is the goal of Abu Abdullah. But Imam Hussein, what's going to happen in the end? Are you going to be successful? It doesn't matter. We talked about this last night. Imam Hussein is taking the first step, and he's taking it for Allah, and he's making sure he's not crossing red lines in the process. This had a Let's move on. Let's move on to another big lesson. Salama is one of the wives of the Holy Prophet. A wonderful individual. We've all heard her story when Fatimiyya comes. When Fatimiyya comes, who was next to the bed of Bibi Fatima? Salama. She was taking care of Fatima Zahra. She was the one who had issues with other wives of the Prophet. She told Aisha, don't do this battle of Jamal thing that you're embarking on, don't. They say she wrote letters to Muawiyah. We have to understand, the wives of the Prophet were celebrities. They were revered. Why? Because that one thing I said before, right? Relationship with the Holy Prophet, that's all that mattered apparently to some people. She was revered, everyone respected her. She would write letters to Muawiyah. At the end of the day, Muawiyah is acting as if he believes in Islam. He's acting as if all that matters to him is the satisfaction of Rasulullah. Good for him. The Shia, of course, believes otherwise. She would write letters to him. She's trying to fix things up. People won't listen though. We have hadith by Shaykh al-Saduq. He narrates that after Bibi Khadija, Bibi Salma was the highest wife of the Holy Prophet. We said salawat for her soul. Now I want to share with you her relationship with Imam Hussein. Just one story that most of us have heard. I love this story personally for different reasons. One of the reasons is that we have this maybe even more in Sunni sources than Shi'i sources. Okay? Which shows how the Prophet revered her and trusted her with something that he didn't trust anybody else with. So it goes like this. Before I actually get to what she says to Imam Hussein when Imam Hussein is leaving from Medina, before that, let's get this straight how much she loves Imam Hussein because of certain things that happened when he was a child. It says, "Kana Nabi fi bayt Salama." The Prophet was in the home of Salama, and he told her, "Don't let anybody enter upon me." You know, sometimes the Prophet, for whatever reason, he will go into his room and he says, "I don't want anyone coming in right now." Maybe it was revelation, whatever it was. Salama is guarding the door, and then little Hussein comes. And he runs around, and she can't catch him, and he runs into the room to the Holy Prophet. She can't stop him. And so she's chasing him. She runs in, and it says that when she came in, she sees Imam Hussein on the chest of the Holy Prophet. What is the Holy Prophet doing? It says, وَإِذَا النَّبِيُّ يَبْكِي. The Holy Prophet was crying. وَإِذَا فِي يَدِهِ شَيْءٌ يُقَبِّلُهُ. And there's something in his hand that he's kissing. He said, Ya Salama, this is Jibreel. Jibreel is here. And he's telling me that this child of mine will be maqtul, will be killed, will be slaughtered. وَهَذِهِ التُّرْبَةُ الَّتِي يُقْتَلُ عَلَيْهَا. And this is the sand that he will be killed on. So take this, keep it. He didn't give it to anybody else. Give it to Salama. Keep this soil with you. And whenever you see it turn red, know that my Habib, my beloved Hussein has been killed. And she did that. They say she kept that glass of Fakir Shuba until then. Now, of course, I said this over there too, I'll say it here as well. Some of us get a little carried off when it comes to this Fakir Shuba, where we feel like the only way to ascertain that something is really Fakir Shuba is that it has to turn red on Ashura. Not necessarily, brothers and sisters. Although there are signs here and there sometimes, but it's not that it always will happen necessarily. So every turbat that we have in our home, for example. Some people get disappointed. He says, فَإِذَا صَارَتْ دَمًا, when it turns to blood, then you know that Hussein has been killed. You know what Salama says? She says, can't you ask Allah to repel this bala, this tragedy from Hussein? You know what the Prophet says? He says, I did do dua, but this is something that has to happen. Imam Hussein has to die. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. He says that, no, they've told me that he has a high rank that no one else is ever going to reach. In other words, he has to die for this rank. And his Shia are going to have shafa'ah on the day of resurrection. And he goes on. The hadith goes on. Anyway, this is Salma. She's seen how the Prophet loves Hussein, so she loves Hussein. So when she hears that the last member of Al Aba is leaving Medina, she gets worried. The Prophet left this world. Ali ibn Abi Talib left this world. Fatima Zahra, Imam Hassan, they all left this world. There's one left, Al-Hussein. And now he's leaving. And she's like his mother. So she comes to him, she says, don't grieve me with your departure from Medina. She says, verily I have heard your grandfather say that my son Hussein will be killed in a land called Karbala in Iraq. Don't go. Please stay. You know what he says? He reads his own Nasab. And then he ends it with, this has to happen. He says, Ya Ummah, oh mother. You know, when you read this part, it really hurts you. That he speaks to her, he calls her Ya Ummah. He lost his mother as a child. So then he sees Salama as his mother. He says, Ya Ummah. وَأَنَا أَعْلَمُ, I know too. أني مقتول مذبوح, that I will be killed. Not only will I be maqtul, I will be madbooh. ذبح means to slaughter. I'll be slaughtered. ظلما وعدوانا, out of dhul, out of oppression, out of udwan, animosity. وقد شاء الله عز وجل أن يرى حرمي ورهطي مشردين. But my Lord wants to see my women and children scattered. أطفالي مذبوحين, my children slaughtered. He wants to see that. مأسورين, taken as prisoners. مقيدين, tied up in chains. He wants to see that. And to make things worse, there's no one there to help them. They're asking for help, but there's no one to help them. Other than else was good. Allah wants to see this. He's telling his mother, Salama. Now she doesn't know. She's hearing all of this. Of course, she's going to really lose it. She's going to get very upset because this, it seems, this is it. Abu Abdullah wants to leave. The last thing that I had that reminded me of all the good times, the good days with the Holy Prophet, all of that is going to be done with the departure of Abu Abdullah. You know, some people have asked Imam Sadiq, they asked him that, why is it that you grieve so much for Abu Abdullah while Imam al-Hassan was greater, Imam Ali was greater, Fatima Zahra? You know what he said? He said, yes, true. Amir al-Mu'minin was higher. When he left, it was a great tragedy. But you have to understand that when Hussein went, when he was alive, it was as if all of them are still alive. But when Hussein went, it was as if everyone that we had left is gone. It's as if all of them went. This is Abu Abdullah Hussein. They didn't kill just some normal person on the streets, brothers and sisters. They killed the highest, I don't like using this word, the highest celebrity of their time. Everyone wished that they could be him. But only one left on the face of the earth that was the son of the daughter of the Holy Prophet. So it's hard for her. She doesn't understand, of course, that this is a journey that Imam Hussein has to take, and this is a journey that will not end with his shahada. It's going to continue. So One thing that we need to discuss here, and I think this is what we're going to discuss, and then we'll end after this. But it'll take some time. I need you to pay attention. So younger people, sometimes we get this feeling that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so mean that He wants to see us suffer as if. One of the reasons why people turn atheist sometimes is because certain things just don't make sense to them. They don't. Why? Now you have this in the Old Testament too. Why would God ever want a prophet of His to kill and sacrifice his own son? The story of Prophet Ibrahim, you can go and watch the videos online. They mock that story. While we are looking at this history as the pinnacle of submission and servitude, others see it as a joke. They don't understand. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there didn't allow Prophet Ibrahim to finish the job. He sent a ram instead, and the ram was slaughtered, yes? There was no good that would have maybe come out of slaughtering Prophet Ibrahim's son. But there was a big lesson in it and a big test for Prophet Ibrahim. Okay. But brothers and sisters, Imam Hussein's story is different. Imam Hussein says Allah wants to see this happen, and it did happen. That's the scary part. So now we got brothers and sisters maybe asking themselves, why does Allah have such problems? Astaghfirullah, I'm sorry to say it like this. Why is it that Allah wants to see us suffer? Now this extends to even our lives. And we'll sometimes ask, hey, why am I suffering from this problem and that problem in life? That itself has a whole explanation behind it. And I don't want to get into that. But I want to talk about this in particular. If we figure this one out, then the rest can also probably be figured out. Imam Hussein, first of all, before I get into explaining everything, Imam Hussein showed us that, hey, if you suffer from certain tragedies in life, I just want you to see how I suffered. So don't worry too much. It's not a bad sign necessarily. If you have a problem in life, don't question God, because I had a bigger problem in my life, which was Ashura. I didn't question God. Every now and then, that's what this life is all about, brothers and sisters. That's what a material world is all about. Stuff happens. You can't do anything about it. That's why He brought us here. Why didn't Allah just take us straight to heaven? He brought us here because stuff happens here. We get refined more and more as we exhibit patience in the face of these hardships. How else are you going to grow? How else are you going to turn into gold and diamond? Yeah? Does gold form very easily? Do diamonds come into existence very easily? You tell me. A little Google search will tell us. About this. What's going on? When He says, Allah wills to see me die. Not only that, He wills to see all the other bad stuff that happens to Allah wants to see it. To explain that, I'm going to use a few examples. Number one, Salat. Salat, Allah prescribed Salat for us. He made it wajib upon us to pray. Question: is that for His own good or is that for our good? Does Allah benefit from our salat? I don't think so. He tells us to stay away from pork and intoxication and all that. Is that for Him or is that for me? He tells us to keep ourselves within certain limits. Why? Because in a material world, if you just let go of everything, you're going to end up killing yourself or killing others. All of these rules and laws that Allah has for us is because there is an underlying good in it if He makes it wajib. Or if He makes it haram, there's an underlying disadvantage and problem that will come about if we don't refrain from that thing. And since He's the Creator, He has perfect understanding of all the good and bad in things. Come on, like even till today, they're figuring things out. Science isn't helping too much, but the stuff that it does look into, sometimes you find that, wow, look at that. This is exactly what Islam said 1400 years ago. We all know we have examples for that. Even when it comes to like medicine, there are certain things that the Imams might have said in the past. People are like, oh wow, look, this solved my problem, instead of having to go to the doctors. You know, a simple thing that we adjust in our lives is going to fix everything. In our diet, for example. Oh my God, the Imam said that like 1400 years ago. Did you know that? It's good to know. Now it's the mustahabbat, the wajib and haram part. There's a lot going on there. That's why the Imam said, hey, when it comes to the wajib and haram, since Allah knows everything about creation, we'll just follow what He says. Isn't that easier? Of course it's easier. Having said all of that, Allah sees the good in something, makes it wajib. If it reaches that level of goodness, sees the bad in something, if it reaches the level of badness that He has to issue a haram for it, He will issue haram. Sometimes there's good and bad mixed. That's where you have mustahab, makruh, all that stuff. All right. But the wajib and haram is what we're talking about right now. Okay. So Allah sees the good and bad in things. Then He issues wajib and haram. And of course, He's not bound by time. I'm just being very figurative here. First, He sees the good and bad. Then He says wajib and haram to His Prophet or in the Quran. And then the Prophet relays that to us as followers. Yes? He says, this is the important part, Allah, the Quran or the Prophet will tell us, Allah wants this from you. Wants this from you. Oh, why? Does Allah need? No, we covered that already. Allah doesn't need. It's for our own good. He saw something in there. That's why He made it wajib. He willed it for us. Am I forced to do it? No, I'm not. I hope you're following. Abu Abdullah Hussein. Let's go to him. Muslim Ummah, during the Prophet's time, after he passes away, Saqifa happens. People, the Prophet wanted somebody else in charge. We're not going to listen. Alright, cool. The first Khalifa passed away. Second Khalifa was appointed by the first Khalifa. No room there for any voting at all. People didn't say anything about that. Third Khalifa came. Third Khalifa was Uthman. Uthman was Bani Umayyah. Oh my God, the Bani Umayyah that we covered last night, that the Prophet had said, don't let the Bani Umayyah take over. Now Bani Umayyah are taking over. Oh, yes, Uthman was Bani Umayyah, although he was the good Bani Umayyah in a sense, because he was a companion of the Prophet in the Sunni school, of course. At the end of the day, though, he's Bani Umayyah. And when he took charge and became Khalifa, other Bani Umayyah started coming and taking different positions. Before you know it, Bani Umayyah are ruling the Muslim empire. Oh. So if we make a mistake in the beginning, it just snowballs. Yes, it snowballs. This is Michigan. It snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. The next thing that we have is Imam Ali coming to power, but now people are questioning him. Why? Because you're the fourth one. You're not as important. Before you know it, the first civil war takes place. Second civil war takes place. Third civil war. The first time that Muslims are shedding each other's blood, but there's no choice. Because on one side you have Amir al-Mu'mineen, on the other side you have Muawiyah. Which companion of Rasulullah do we follow? Although for many it was clear to follow Amir al-Mu'mineen. That didn't help because Imam Ali, instead of fixing what happened and what went down before him in the 25 years that he was marginalized, instead of having the opportunity to fix that, now he has 3 wars to attend. He doesn't have time to fix things up. He says this in Nahj al-Balagha. He says, if I only had the chance, I would have fixed things. But these problems that I have right now, like these civil wars, aren't allowing me. So things didn't get better. Snowballing, snowballing, snowballing. It goes up to the point where Imam Hassan has to give Khilafah to Muawiyah. Forcefully. 20 years Muawiyah works. Think about it. Think about it. 20 years. Like, think about it. If Trump was president for 20 years, what would happen? Right? How would the people think after 20 years? Right now, they're struggling 20 months into it. And people are feeling bad. They're like, look at racism is becoming something standard now. For example, I'm just giving examples. I don't want to get all into that kind of stuff. 20 years, someone who is as cunning as Muawiyah has taken over. Look at what he's going to do. Oh my God. It reaches a point where people say, Ali ibn Abi Talib, how could he have become martyred in the mihrab? Ali ibn Abi Talib didn't even pray. The people of Sham, that's how they thought. The people of Sham, they thought that when the Quran or the Prophet talks about Ahlul Bayt, he's talking about Bani Umayyah. Are you kidding me? That's what it had reached. It becomes so bad that, let's go back to the Allah example. Allah is watching. He sees that there is no way to save Islam. There's something very good called saving Islam. Just like there's something very good called Salat. Allah saw the good in it and made it wajib. Allah sees that there is something else out there that is so important and so significant, and it's beyond wajib. It's awjabul wajibat, because the life of Islam and the survival of Islam depends on it. And the only way that Islam will survive is that the purest of blood has to be spilled. So this Muslim ummah is shaken. Brothers and sisters, a fraction of the tragedies has reached us. If we knew what actually happened in Ashura, we wouldn't be able to bear it. I don't know how many of us would be alive if we could watch those scenes. We don't understand Karbala. Let me share a story with you. I might be going over my time, I don't know, but there's a person by the name of Sheikh Ja'far al-Mujtahidi. This person was an interesting individual, just different than all the other urafa out there. He reaches a point where he speaks to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He's like maybe from 50 years ago. In Najaf, when he was living there, the qabr of Amir al-Mu'mineen, he would actually speak to Amir al-Mu'mineen. When he has to leave Najaf, after a lot of spiritual endeavors, he reaches a point where they will grant him a wish. He says, I want to see Ashura. This is a person that has become worthy enough that he can speak to the grave of Amir al-Mu'mineen and get responses. This is written in the books. If it wasn't written, I wouldn't tell you. It's written in the books. He says, I asked for Ashura. I want to see Ashura. They said, no, that is a secret of Allah. So he said, let me see Amir al-Mu'mineen and Fatima al-Zahra. He said, that's also a secret. That's also a secret. Eventually, it goes down to him asking, let me see at least when they were dragging Amir al-Mu'mineen in the streets of Medina to get bay'ah from him. And that's what they show him, and he passes out and the story goes on. Point being, brothers and sisters, Allah sees that there is a very, very important thing that has to happen here. Awjabul wajibat. The most wajib of all wajibs. And that's why He wills. The same way He wills that we pray, He wills that this happens. This is the only way out. If for us, salat is our mi'raj, is our way to reaching Allah, for example, for Abu Abdullah to reach, Allah has made it wajib on him. Is he forced? No. Imam Hussein didn't have to do what he did. And Allah might have even saved Islam some other way. We don't know. This is an opportunity here to get close to Allah the way no other has ever become close to Him. So there's a wajib here that's wajib, more wajib than everything else. Because of an important thing that it will entail. And me and you are the result of that. Today we sit here, we remember Ahlul Bayt, we remember Imam Hussein, we remember Islam, and we uphold Islam. We practice Islam sometimes. That's what Allah had in mind. 1400 years and still going on. Of insurance and guaranteeing Islam's survival. Allah sees that, makes it wajib. That's why He willed it for Imam Hussein. When something becomes wajib, it becomes wajib. So did Allah will it from the beginning? It was the people's fault. Don't scold Allah. We have to scold the people who allowed it to reach this point that there is no other way other than it to become incumbent on our Master to give his life and to give the life of his loved ones in the way of Islam for its survival. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله والسلام.
was a time to engage, especially for the person who is not used to opinion, don't give the most of the help, there's nothing better. In other words, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than nothing. It's great. You see that you get bolster, showing the utmost respect and request. Ya Aqilati Bani Hashim, allow me to hold your hand. Allow me to help you down your camel, Ya Zainab. Ali al-Akbar was there to also provide his assistance. Imagine the children as they stop on the plains of Karbala, many not knowing where they are. They are running around the tents as they are being set up, playing and enjoying themselves. Abu Fadl al-Abbas watches the children playing, maybe thinking what will be everyone's fate in the coming days. Oh, children of Ashura, play for them. There will come a time, oh Zainab, when you want to leave Karbala. And you look around asking, where are you, Ya Aba Fadl? You'll be looking around asking, where's Ali al-Akbar? Where is Qasim? Where is my beloved Hussein? On the day of Ashura, instead of the men of Bani Hashim coming to help Lady Zainab off the camel, she has to go around helping the children and trying to stop the enemies from attacking the camp and being the women and the children. Imagine the scene in Karbala. Imagine your own family and children who are being chased. Imagine they were being chased and had fear and their hearts screaming around the tents. Abu Abdullah stands there looking at the children, looking at the companions, and looking at Abu Fadl. It's as if Hussein is thinking of children. There will come a day that you will not even be able to find the body of your uncle Abbas. At this time, if you feel thirsty, you can call upon your uncle to get you some water from the river. O children of Karbala, there will come a day where you will go to ask your uncle for water and he isn't there. Ya Hussein, the children may not have water to drink on that day, but we'll have someone to comfort them for a time. But on that day, when you're alone, who will comfort you? When your body lays on the plains of Karbala. At one point, Ali al-Akbar went to his father and said, Father, I saw a dream last night. I saw a group of people heading for a place where death was waiting for them. I saw them all killed one by one. Father, I know these people are us, but tell me, Father, are we on the right path? Yes, my son Ali, yes, we are on the right path. Then let us not worry then, Father, if we are on the right path. Then let us be killed in the way of Islam. We should continue our journey and greet our death with a smile. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah. Hello? 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 Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello? Hello? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. अच्छा ये देख लो कि इस स्पीकर से ना इसका स्पीकर देखो ना नहीं इसका स्पीकर ऑनलाइन जाके देखो ऑनलाइन जाके देखो लेट्स चेक इट ऑनलाइन हेलो 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 1 2 3 हेलो 1 2 3 हेलो हेलो 1 2 3 हेलो हेलो 1 2 3 हेलो हेलो 1 2 3 चेक करो ये बंद करता हूँ हेलो 1 2 3 हेलो 1 2 3 ऑनलाइन भेजो ऑनलाइन भेजो तो पता चलेगा ऑनलाइन है ये देखो ना ऑनलाइन हेलो 1 2 3 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 ये हमिंग इस वजह से आ रही है क्योंकि बहुत हमिंग है